Josh Heupel is one of a handful of college football quarterbacks that has not won a national title. Oh, what did I say?
Quarterbacks. He did win one as a quarterback.
Yes, he did. Coaches. Maybe that teased something I was about to get to. All right, so I got 4 questions for you when it comes to Josh Heupel and the group that he is in, which is a great group, but he hasn't won a national title yet. So I want to remind you that 4 Downs is brought to you by Zen Sports, the new sportsbook in Tennessee, revolutionizing the way you earn sports betting rewards. That means no more deposit bonuses that turn into deposit nightmares on Zen Sports. What you see is what you get with their cash rewards program. You get a lot of cash. How about that? For a welcome bonus, earn an unlimited 5% cash back on your betting volume for your first 15 days when you sign up with the code HOOKED. That's right, unlimited 5% cash back. Anybody that signs up, just let me know, and I'll hook you up with a hooker shirt. We've got some of those still to give away. But the promo code HOOK, keep betting, keep earning, with up to 3% cash back on your betting volume every month after that, and refer friends to earn a percentage of their betting volume as cash rewards too. Zen Sports bringing the cash back to Tennessee. So if you bet big on sports, you want to be betting with Zen Sports. Zen Sports betting just got better. So let's turn to Cooper Mays, and we'll go ahead and knock that out with first down. Coop
here, first down.
All right, best coach currently that has not won a national title. Give me a handful of cats we can choose from.
All right, here's a handful. There's Jim Harbaugh, Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly. Some people will say Ryan Day, but I'm not making him an option because I just don't think he's a good coach.
I agree.
Josh Heupel, Sonny Dykes, Lane Kiffin, and Mike Gundy, Mark Stoops, and Chip Kelly could all be in this conversation.
I think it's clearly Jim Harbaugh because he's got a team to the Super Bowl. That's pretty difficult. So. And I know that's not college. If you took him out of it, it's hands down Brian Kelly for me. So it's Harbaugh for me, a clear number 1. Kelly, a clear number 2, and then we could argue the rest. Do you like that lineup, yeah or nay?
Oh, no, I like that a lot. I have a hard time leaving Lincoln Riley out because he's basically been a mainstay in the college football playoff. And I know he was always losing in the first round because of defensive issues, but I think that's a little bit unfair because honestly, I mean, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for saying this, but I don't think Oklahoma is a tier 1 coaching job. I think it's a little bit harder to recruit there than people give it credit for. And so I think that's why he took the USC job.
I just can't put him. If I had to pick, he's probably last just because I don't think he has a good grasp of what to do defensively and to build a fundamentally sound program. That's my problem with him. And it will be my problem with Josh Heupel if he doesn't develop that, which I think he's on his way to doing. I'm not suggesting he won't, but you can't just roll out there and be offensive guru and expect to win every single game. You're going to have to win games in other fashions. So
but are you sure the defensive woes don't have something to do with him again at Oklahoma? Again, this was his first year at USC last year. And the year before at Oklahoma, are you sure that doesn't have to do with, isn't it a little bit harder to recruit talent at Oklahoma than we give it credit for?
Yes. I mean, but you can get into Texas. You get a lot of kids out of Texas. I don't think it's as hard to recruit in Oklahoma as, say, a Missouri. I'm just picking a team that's in the geographic region. I think it's kind of like Tennessee. There's not a huge amount of in-state talent, but there's enough nearby states where you should be okay. I don't think that's an excuse. People said that during Dooley and Butch and Bullethead. They would say that it's hard to recruit at Tennessee. Well, it was hard to recruit for General Neyland. You know what he did? He traveled all over the United States of America. You know that. You're the historian. That was one of the first things he said. And Philip Fulmer used to cite it all the time. You can't recruit locally. So get off your duff and go get it done. I never thought that was a good excuse, especially with Derek Dooley, since he didn't go to one high school game in his entire career at Tennessee.
And to be fair, Pruitt did. Pruitt actually did recruit well, as we're seeing.
He did. No, he did. He did. Absolutely, he did. All right, here we go. So what down is it, Coop?
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
All right, second down. What coach of that group will win one first?
Oh, the homerism in me is going to come out again, according to the message boards, but it's
And
Brian
for the
Kelly.
record, Caleb has no tie, nor does he root for LSU. He's just high on Brian Kelly. You call it homerism. It's not really homerism.
I know people think it's people think I root for LSU. I don't. I really don't. I look at the facts in front of me, and Dave has covered recruiting more than I have in the past, but I've covered recruiting a little bit, and I've tracked how underrated or overrated state talent is. Louisiana is like a top 6 state, and it's underrated state talent wise. It's the best job in America, and it's got a good coach. Brian Kelly's winning one next. I'm not saying he's the best of the.
It's scary easy to win there. Caleb and I can get 8 or 9 wins with just our buddies.
It is so easy. And now that they're ahead of the curve in NIL, on top of having a good coach and on top of being in Louisiana, like, again, I would say probably Jim Harbaugh is the best coach of the group, but Michigan's a much harder job than LSU. It's a much harder job than LSU.
I'm going to say Lincoln Riley, and there are a couple of reasons. Okay, and I'm not a big Riley guy, but I think Brian Kelly, I think he's a little bit more ahead of the curve, and I think he's got a much better quarterback situation, even though we like Jaden Daniels. We don't love Jaden Daniels. Is that fair? I mean, I like him a lot. He might end up in a down year of quarterbacks being the top quarterback in the SEC. So
talking about a program that won a national title with Matt Flynn and Matt Mock, but yes.
Well, that's true. But and a guy named Joe Burrow who did pretty good. So I would take Lincoln Riley to win one. And I think another factor that helps them is they're going to be in the Big Ten, and they're going to be able to run people absolutely out of the arena, Coliseum, stadium, and they're going to get a lot of rest. It's the same thing with Tennessee. And I've talked to Cooper and Jacob about this. It's darn nice to go out there and bust your rear in the first quarter and know that you're going to be able to sit on the sidelines with no helmet. There's a sense of anxiety and relaxation when they take your helmet and they say you're done for the day. And Tennessee is able to do that with some SEC teams, some non-conference teams. I think USC, with the way they run their offense, will be able to do that a lot. Speaking of Cooper, what down is the Coop?
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here, 3rd down.
What of those coaches, which of those coaches will never win one?
Will never win one.
Yes.
Okay, well, since we went a little lower.
Repeat the group you mentioned.
Okay, so I named Jim Harbaugh, Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly, Josh Heupel. You can name Ryan Day and James Franklin if you want to. Neither one of us are going to name them. And Sonny Dykes, Lane Kiffin, and Mark Stoops, Mike Gundy, and Chip Kelly.
Lane Kiffin's never going to win a national title. Neither is Sonny Dykes.
No,
sorry,
neither one of them. Neither is
and
Mike
really
Gundy,
what Sonny Dykes did last year at TCU with that team is almost as impressive as winning a national title. I mean, so he's got that on his resume forever. Travis giving me a hard time. USC is never going to beat a good Georgia, Alabama, or even Tennessee. We'll see. My theory on that is, Travis, as a retort, I think that USC will be able to pick up. I'm just throwing this name out there randomly, like the Manti Te'os of the world, who was from Southern California. I think he'll be able to pick up enough of those guys on defense, and the offense will be really good. SoCal, man, there are pockets where they do love football. Now you got to look, but there are places. So that's why I went with Riley. But you could have said the same thing about Brian Kelly.
Right, exactly. And what we're laughing about that is we both agree Harbaugh. If you named Harbaugh, Brian Kelly, and Lincoln Riley, we would agree Harbaugh's the best of the three. He's the least likely to win a national title. If I had to pick among those three who would never win one, it'd be Jim Harbaugh because of where he is. I think he should leave Michigan, but that's just me.
Well, he's also the most likely to get fired. He can't leave Michigan. He's reached out to every NFL team that's had even a sit-on vacancy, and nobody will take him. I think he's the most likely of that group to get fired, and I don't think it's close. He's tough to get along with. He's flirting with the NFL each and every offseason. Tennessee fans, how would you feel? LSU fans, we got a lot of LSU fans and South Carolina fans for whatever reason. How would you feel if Brian Kelly or Shane Beamer is flirting with the NFL each and every year? Now, Philip Fulmer used to do that, but I kind of give Philip Fulmer a pass because he wasn't making life-changing money in the 90s. He wasn't making generational wealth. So push. I don't blame you. But nowadays, everybody's making generational wealth. And Philip Fulmer was also looking out for his assistant coaches. So I don't really hold that against Philip Fulmer. I thought that was leverage. Nowadays, if all of your coaches are making $750,000 plus and you're bringing home $6 million and you're flirting with the NFL every single year, I guarantee you there are people at Michigan that are dying to make a change.
And also, right now, Michigan has the second-rate recruiting class for 2024, but they've always flirted in like the 10 to 20 range. You don't think Harbaugh flirting with the NFL is the reason they haven't been flirting with top 5 until now? I mean, I guarantee you that's going around to every other high school kid, because right now is lightning in a bottle. There's a lot of negative press about Ohio State because Ryan Day, I think we're all starting to question whether or not he can get it done. So Michigan is uniquely positioned, right, Dave, to go into Ohio and poach a lot of those kids right now. And it's going to be harder for them to do that if Jim Harbaugh keeps flirting with the NFL.
Well, and Jim Harbaugh, too, is like almost 60.
Yeah.
So he was like spending the night with punters at one point in recruiting. Do you remember that story? He spent the night with a guy. They had a sleepover so he could land a dude. Yeah. Not the way I go about it. You know, when I wanted to work with Caleb, I didn't say, "Hey, do you think the missus would mind if I hit the couch and we can play Yahtzee all night?"
And and at least I'm of age. I mean, punters are, high school recruits are. Is this the Neverland Ranch? Isn't that in Michigan?
I don't know. I'm really not sure if it was a punter, but it sounds better. You can Google that.